Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is edition number 2 of Interview the Expert. Today, I have Jackie Brown, the Senior Vice President of Land Closing Services. She has been partnered with the Janet Ruffolo team and Gabe for a number of years. And so we just wanted to talk with her today to ask her some questions about what's been going on with her environment with the COVID-19 and how things are changing. Welcome, Jackie. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me, Janet.
You're welcome. So can you share with us just a little bit about kind of what you do, the changes you've seen? I mean, you are definitely the expert as far as title is concerned.
Well, there's been a lot of changes, and I've seen a lot of changes at other title companies, but I think that we are right there with every change possible to protect everybody. So when you come into our title company, and we try to have as many closings there as possible because we know what we're doing, we don't necessarily know what everybody else is doing. So when you come in our office, we have signs all over the place to stay 6 feet away for the social distancing. We have pens that are brand new pens. Each buyer and seller will go to the washroom and wash their hands before they go into any of our closing rooms. They will get their own pen, and when they're done signing, they will either throw the pen in the garbage or they will take it with them. We are also limiting our closings to just those people who are signing. No real estate agents, no lenders. Anybody else who wants to be at the closing will have to wait outside, not even in our lobby. We're trying to make sure that we're limiting the amount of people in our building because we want everybody to be protected. So we also have plexiglass in our closing rooms that will separate the closers from the people who are signing. And this is for everybody's safety. We want everybody to feel comfortable. We sanitize our closing rooms after every closing. We will sanitize the table and all chairs that were touched. And usually that means most chairs in the closing room. So those are the things that we put into place. We also have a lot of our people working from home so that we have just very few employees at our company at this time.
Gotcha. And how has that been working? I mean, are people understanding, appreciative of that sort of precautions that you guys are taking?
We get a lot of people saying thank you to us for taking this seriously. We also encourage people to wear masks and gloves.
Okay.
When I go into a closing, we all have our own masks that we wear, and gloves. If anybody's interested in wearing gloves, we encourage that. We can't be safe enough in this environment.
So in all of your years, Jackie, have you ever seen anything quite like this?
Never. I never thought I'd live to see anything like this. This is just craziness. It's a crazy world out there right now.
It is. And do you see that this is having an impact on your volume or your business or the number of transactions you've been seeing coming into your facility?
Not at this time. I do think that the longer that this lasts, the more impact it's going to make. What I can tell you is when the interest rates were very low, of course, we had a lot of people refinancing and a lot of purchases. How it has impacted and what I see is more people are losing their jobs and therefore they have to back out of the refinances or the purchases. So that's where we're seeing cancellation.
So have you seen, like, in your best guesstimate, how many transactions have, let's say, fallen through recently because of
I would
the
say in the
impact?
last week we probably had 10.
Wow.
But this
That's a
is
lot.
out of hundreds. This is out of hundreds of deals that we have. We do a lot of volume. We were averaging 40 new refinances a day. So 10 in a week really isn't that bad.
So what percentage then would you say? You said 100. I mean, that's maybe 1%, right? 10%.
It's probably more like 4 to 5% would be my guess right now. And we do anticipate that that's just going to go up the
I
longer
understand.
this lasts.
Okay. So, wow. What advice would you give to, I guess, everyone listening? I've got a combination, probably some agents, some buyers, some sellers. I mean, what would you tell them?
Well, we have other options as well. there are people out there that are just not going to be comfortable coming into any building because they might be an elder person, they might be somebody at more risk than
Right.
others. And in a situation like that, if you have a webcam on your computer, if you're a seller or a buyer, you can do what we call a virtual closing.
Oh,
Right now, we are being charged $120 for that service, and we've decided to kick in 60 of that just so that it's less of a cost to our buyers and sellers.
so is that
So
similar to kind of what we're doing right now? We're on a webcam. So explain to me kind of how that would work. So we know it's $60. I'm virtually closing. What would happen?
So what's happening is you've got a notary that is somewhere in the United States.
Okay.
And that notary is going to notarize your signature, your digital signature, on all of the notarized documents.
Okay.
Then they're going to email those to us, the title company. Right now, the Register of Deeds has agreed to record digital signatures with these type of notaries. They understand that we have to give a little bit. And so they're all on board, and that is why we can do these right now. We are not necessarily the notary because we're not equipped to do that,
Okay.
but we can get notaries as long as the signer has webcam. This is a possibility. Another possibility, Janet, is for us to do a drive-by closing. I just did that this morning. We had people that did not want to get out of their car. So I went out there with all of their documents, handed them to them with gloves on, of course.
Okay.
And then I got into my car next to them and we did the closing over the cell phone.
Okay.
And then they just presented their driver's IDs in the window so I could take down their information. And once they were done signing everything, I notarized them.
So just to clarify for everyone that might not know, technically only a buyer needs to physically sign documents because they're getting a mortgage. Is that correct?
That is on the lender side, correct. On a refinance, it's only the borrower.
Okay.
On a sale of a property and a purchase of a property, you'll have two closings. You'll have the sale side and you'll also have the lender side.
So for the sales side, I mean, there's a lot more flexibility. You heard in the past people would be pre-signing. I think that's now become the norm or the requirement, correct?
We prefer everybody to pre-sign. We are encouraging that because we want to have the little amount of people as possible at the closing table.
Perfect.
So if I just have to
Yep.
go there as a closer with the pre-signed documents, that's just one person, me.
Okay. And then, so with being the title company, you're preferring people come to your facility. Do you still have closers that are traveling remotely? I mean, I know that was a service you always offered to us in the past.
Yes, we still do go to other places remotely. Yes.
But
Most
not your
lender
preference.
offices, it's not our preference because again, we know what we're doing
Okay.
to eliminate in our office and trying to keep ourselves free of any diseases. So
Perfect.
you know
Then also, so that would be on the lender side if you're a buyer and you're getting a loan. If I know you do a lot of investor deals with us and such, that cash buyer, Jackie, explain how that's a little bit different.
a cash buyer doesn't have any documents that need to be notarized. So
Perfect.
I will 100% of the time say, we're not going to allow you to come to closing. You really don't need to, unless they're a person that has no computer, then they're going to have to come in to sign the paperwork. But on a cash buyer, Janet, there is not anything that needs to be notarized. Therefore, we can email all the documents to them, have them print them out, scan them back to us, and then their part is done, other than wiring the funds.
Correct. So the wire, yep, the fund comes in, the buyer is cash, they wire their funds to land title, then you're dispersing accordingly. So that, I mean, they don't even have to come in at all. So it's just the buyers that are getting a loan.
It's only the buyers that are getting a loan. Now, on a cash buyer, the only thing is we would have to say, how do you want to get the keys? Because that's something, yeah, so.
Yes, and we've been
something that
experiencing
can be worked out. If that can be worked out ahead of time before closing, at a walkthrough, whatever,
right.
If there's an agent involved, we would ask the agent to handle getting the keys to the buyer.
Yep, and I think that from the agent perspective, we've definitely had to change our processes with the final walkthrough, the lockbox, the keys, agents not coming to the closing. So normally that's kind of our last, like, give each other a hug, handshake, nice, working with you, and we're off. And so we've had to adjust our processes accordingly as well, because we're just not physically there. As far as agents getting paid, yes, we do get paid, but we're wiring or doing checks or something like that. So if you're out there working with an agent, just, ask them for the details and we will work with the other agent. We're working between each other. So just wanting to kind of cover the changes and impact it's had on our industry as a whole. But I do know that, I know, Jackie, you're still seeing transactions coming. As agents, we're still trying to virtually change our processes, work with as many sellers and buyers as possible. But like you said, the impact that this is going to have is still very unknown. And we will be, I think, barely experiencing this. And I'm sure you would agree, Jackie, like in the summer, like normally we see, right, when it gets warm out, the kids are out of school, which they're already technically out. June, July are some of our biggest months. And what we're doing right now is going to affect, do you feel that that'll affect that time for us?
It's anybody's guess, Janet. It really is all going to depend on when we can get back to a normal world,
Right.
whenever that is. So it's the unknown, and it's a little scary because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We can just hope for the best. It's still a hot market out there. It's
Right.
still a seller's market. Not enough inventory, but there's still a lot of buyers that
Right.
are looking to make multiple offers on one deal. They're getting multiple offers. So
Yep, you are right.
strange, but in this world to say that, but that's the truth of it right now.
Right. And
So
that is a question that I'm getting a lot too, is, Janet, have you seen a switch? Is it still a seller's market? Yes, it is, because of the lack of inventory. So I would agree with you that we have not seen that shift as of yet.
right.
Okay, great. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add? I mean, you've given us some very good tips, tricks, information, and precautions that we should all be taking.
Yeah, I guess I just want to add that everybody make sure you do your part on staying safe, and hopefully we can get through this all together and get back to normal.
Yes, I agree. Well, thank you very much, Jackie, for your time, and continue to do what you're doing, and you're doing a great job. And as always, we love partnering with you and your team, and you guys are just so professional and really get everything done. And this just gives us another example of how you guys handle things in such a great manner. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Janet. We enjoy working with you as well. You guys are
All right.
great. All
Sounds
right.
good. Well, thank you, and take care.
You
Take care of
too.
yourself and your team. Thank you.
And you too. We'll
All
talk
right.
soon.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.